As we look at Lent, the beauty of Lent, of letting something go, giving something up, is that it develops my ability to learn how to die to my flesh and live in the Spirit. So many scriptures about this. I chose this week to go through Ephesians chapter 4. And as we think about this chapter, the fourth chapter of Ephesians, my goodness, what a great one to meditate on. Literally, I have it memorized forwards and backwards. But let me think with you for just a moment about the challenge that all of us face. Dallas Willard describes it like this. He says, the general human failing is to want what is right and important, but at the same time, not to commit to the kind of life that will produce the action we know to be right and the condition we want to enjoy. This is the feature of human character that explains why the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We intend what is right, but we fail, but we avoid the life that would make it a reality. Isn't that great? We do. We avoid the life that would make it a reality. We want what's right, what's important, but we don't know how to do it. Lent helps us learn how to do it. We have to do something on a regular basis to exercise that muscle of resistance. There's two kind of ways that spiritual disciplines go. There's disciplines of engagement and there's disciplines of resistance or abstinence. And so fasting would be a discipline of abstinence. Chastity is a lifelong discipline of abstinence. Silence is abstaining from all the noise and chatter around us. Solitude is abstaining from contact with others so we can be alone to focus and hear and pay attention to God. You see, until we begin to exercise these disciplines of abstinence, resistance, and engagement, taking hold of prayer, meditation, memorization, fellowship, until we learn to apply these practices into our daily lives, living and loving like Jesus will elude us. It'll only be an illusion. God wants you and I to lean in and learn how to die to self so we can live and love like Jesus. On the first week of the series, I quoted Matthew 11, 28 and 29, and I had an oxen yoke. Wasn't it the coolest thing on stage? It was there this week too. I had the team put it back up for me because, well, number one, Jesus used it to get our attention, to say, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. So much there. Jesus is giving us, first of all, a promise to have rest. And oh my gosh, don't you and I need rest? And we get that rest when we learn to yoke up with Jesus. Jesus starts the passage, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened. Doesn't seem like weary and burdened Christ followers or anybody else would need a yoke. Wouldn't they need a mattress or a vacation if they want rest? Well, not according to Jesus. You see, Jesus didn't give us a vacation or a mattress or a lazy boy. He gave us a work instrument, because working out our salvation means yoking ourselves up with Jesus. In the context, they would take a yoke and they would put two oxen in it. Oftentimes, they would put an experienced older ox with a younger, inexperienced ox. And that younger ox, now that he's attached to this older ox, really, literally, he can't get away from him because he's right beside him. He's going to learn from him. Jesus is inviting us, not by coercion or a forced next to him mechanism, but a spiritual mechanism that says, I want to yoke myself up. I want to submit myself to Jesus being by my side so I can learn to live and love like him, so I can learn to be humble and gentle in heart. Two things Jesus does, two terms he uses to describe himself. For I am humble and gentle in heart. Think about those in your own life. How humble are you? Are you willing to receive correction? Do you have to know it all? Or are you gladly able to listen and learn from others? Others that may not have the education you have, the experience you have, but still have something to offer. When you do have an opinion, does the opinion hold you or do you hold it? Do you offer it with kindness? Do you offer it with gentleness, with humility? How's humility working for you? Are you humble and gentle? Would anyone else describe you with those terms? Notice when we look at Ephesians 4, what the Apostle Paul does. Right out of the gate, he identifies himself as a prisoner for the Lord then. He was in jail when he wrote Ephesians. So he's writing from a prison cell. I urge you, he says, to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. What's he doing? He's taken the very two terms Jesus used to define himself. And Paul's saying, you too pursue those things. Why? Because we're seeking the spiritual formation of becoming like Jesus. If Jesus was gentle and humble, I got to seek to be gentle and humble. Paul doesn't just call us to pursue it. He says, be completely humble and gentle. Wow. I don't know. Wherever you are in the process of being humble and gentle, you're probably not yet to the place of completely humble and gentle. God wants you and I to lean in and learn how to be humble and gentle. That means I've got to lean in and learn how to die to self. That whatever would interfere with that characteristic, humility, die to pride, die to selfishness. Whatever would get in the way of gentleness, die to being rude, domineering, opinionated, forceful. God wants us to lean in and learn how because of our intimate time with Jesus. I hope you are leaning in and learning how. If you are spending regular time with Jesus, time of meditation in his word, time of prayer and visualizing God's presence, Jesus' presence in your life, those disciplines of engagement, and if commensurately you're using and doing disciplines of disengagement, abstinence, resistance, like fasting, like silence, resisting all the voices of culture, solitude, resisting all the people around us. If you are practicing these habits and practices, you will become more like him. You will learn how to live and love like Jesus. I'll see you tomorrow.